Has it started? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it started. We're like 7 seconds in. Hello, little dog. Yes. Alright.
Hello.
So...
We're back after like 2 years.
2?
2?
Has it only been 2? It feels like longer.
Well, maybe it has been. I have no idea. It was a long time ago. I appeared in a video and I had blonde hair and it was super fucking long.
Oh, that's right.
You mind if I swear?
No, that's fine. This was green, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I did watch that video recently.
Did you?
No, it was good. The one that you did. The nostalgia. What is that?
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Anyway, today we're going to talk about, what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with what it's like to be out of uni?
No, because I think that, like, Disenchanted with YouTube will get us kind of going. And then, talking about... Yeah, so 2 topics, maybe 2 videos. See how we go.
We'll see.
I
came up with one, she came up with one.
Yeah, editing, Rachel. Yeah, so, Disenchanted with YouTube these days, and then also life after university, which, for me, is kind of depressing, so maybe talk about that second.
Yeah. Okay, so the other day, Jack Howard posted a video about his kind of disenchantment with YouTube and how it's become this thing where people just kind of upload, I don't want to use the word crap, but that's the
I would have just gone with anything.
Upload anything. And it's like there's daily vloggers coming out of our ears and like people are making money off stuff that isn't really difficult to make. But he said he's kind of one of those YouTubers who uploads when he's got a good idea, rather than in like a weekly schedule or, you know, stuff like that. It's like Community Channel. You know who Community Channel is? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Biggest Australian YouTuber. She has a weekly schedule, but if she's unhappy with the content, she doesn't upload it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's not so much of that anymore, and there's a lot more kind of everyone's just putting up whatever they've got. And I mean, I'm one of those people. I have like daily vlogs on my channel, but my channel was more about me getting comfortable in front of a camera because obviously I'm a journalist and it's something that I'm going to have to do at some point.
Yeah, fair.
So it was less about creating good content. And I've got like, 2 subscribers and one of them is you.
These two. And
Hannah. But like, there's this, we're kind of inundated every day with this kind of just nothing, you know? Like, do I really want to watch you eat breakfast? Or do I really want to watch you walk down the street? Should you really be filming your feet as you walk somewhere? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you know, you might produce an 8 to 15 minute, like, piece each day, but you're talking about, you know, doing laundry and, like, taking your dog for a walk. And, like, yes, this is, like, stuff that we all do, but do we need to know every second of your life? You know what I mean? Like, sure, if you're doing something really interesting or really fun, you know, that could be fun. Like, that could be great. But I just don't feel like we need that sort of nothing.
I can agree on some parts, but I disagree with kind of the getting rid of mundaneness. I think this is the only outlet that people have to kind of compare their mundaneness, if that makes sense. So, like, sorry, I'm going to say it as much as I can, having a writing degree, trying to understand how people do anything in their life and everything, and I can kind of do that through YouTube. I can kind of be a fly on the wall to someone's life. Not everyone is interesting, that's true. Like, some people doing their laundry is very boring, and, like, you know, but some people, and I was talking to you about this before we started filming, Julian, Jenna Marbles' partner, he does edit to a point where it's like, it's not boring, it is still, like, not plot driven, but, you know, it's got such a pace to it, yeah. But at the same time, most of it is very mundane, and it's just the dogs lying around and whatever else, which I find really interesting. But it's because it's him, like, I think it's interesting. I feel like he's a friend.
The personality interesting rather than what's happening.
Exactly. Which is, it's a delicate balance, because that's what I'm looking for, is kind of like a boring, mundane, the in-between.
Yes.
And I think the in-betweenness is very exciting. But, I do agree with you, though, in the sense that, like, people are uploading stuff, and I'm not just talking about, like, daily vlogs. I mean, and I hate to name shame, but Shane Dawson uploads a lot of crap. And, like, we have been watching, and Hannah has been watching Shane Dawson since he started YouTube.
I literally have not watched a Shane Dawson, except for his coming out video, which I got about 3 minutes into or something ridiculous like that. Because, like, I knew already. Like, you just had to read the title and then you would know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand that this is it's a difficult thing to talk about sometimes. But
there's a dog here, don't worry.
Like, I just don't, I didn't need to watch the whole, it was like an 8-minute video or something like that. But I haven't watched him since I was about 17, just because I got sick of it then. Like, I was sick of his just the same content at the same time, constantly, at that time. You know, and I don't think it's so much a vendetta against daily vloggers. I think it's something about, like, a lack of creativity. So obviously you talk about Julian making things interesting, but that's creative. Do you know what I mean? So there are daily vloggers who are doing this the right way. Like Louis. I've forgotten the name of his channel right now.
Fun for Louis.
Like, he's a daily vlogger, but he's also travelling the world and showing everyone new stuff. That's really interesting. Like, I want to see what he's doing every day because he's always doing something super interesting. But there are, like, and he's trying to be creative about how he shows us that. Like, you know, we go swimming in the ocean with him, we jump off cliffs with him, you know, there's no limit to what we're going to do with him.
Yeah.
But I think there are so many people who are just, like, if you're going to be at home all day, just sitting on your lounge or doing work, do you need to make a vlog that day?
That's,
you know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to say or do anything that is contributing to something. And I get that the mundaneness of that life can be interesting, but is the mundaneness of life interesting every day of the week, or is it interesting one day of the week?
That's true. I guess it depends who you are and what you're looking for. Like, some people genuinely do like watching people do nothing. And, like, if it is, you know, that person that they're really interested in. But again, no, I do agree in that sense.
What I do find, though, is I watch the mundane videos when I'm doing mundane things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wake up in the morning and I want some noise to be happening while I'm doing whatever. So I put on a daily vlog and I brush my teeth and I'm not even really paying attention. It's just on.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. You're giving them a view.
Oh, so nice. It's literally, I literally only watch one daily vlogger at the moment, and it's Shep 698 or whatever the fuck it is. I can't even remember. But I only watch them, and I only watch them sometimes, and I pretty much only ever watch them while I'm either on the toilet or brushing my teeth.
Oh, that's nice.
I can't be the only person in existence who takes their phone into the toilet.
No, well, of course not. But no. It still is fun.
Like, I
know. Maybe your need for YouTube has changed as well. Would you say? Like, and that's why I kind of wanted. Also, this is kind of turning into, like, how your perception of YouTube has changed over time. Because as we were saying, we watched Shane Dawson, and for you finished when you were 17. For me, it was probably about a year, maybe 2 years ago, particularly when his, like, main channel stuff died and he started doing, and, like, good on him, he's doing his own thing, it seems like he's happy, but it feels a lot more forced and a lot more, I've got to pay the bills and I'm going through some stuff and I just want a creative outlet, and people are still watching, so I'll make stuff.
But, like, his videos were just not, like, I was getting really sick of seeing, like, all the, like, him playing, like, outrageous characters, like, in every video. There was nothing different about, like, he was trying to be different, but it wasn't different anymore.
Actually develop. Yeah, but then I think he hit a little bit of a creative glass wall. And I feel like that was the 2 years ago mark. I can respect your opinion on the, like, he didn't really expand outside of that. And even watching his movie, I understand that wasn't...
He's got a movie?
He's got a movie, okay.
I knew he had a TV show, but I stopped watching just as the TV show got picked up.
It didn't.
Oh, sorry, he was filming his pilot.
Uh-huh. Well, I was going to say it didn't get picked up.
Well, obviously, because it just wasn't... It's not, like... Everything that... Like, daily vlogging would not work on TV. Do you know what I mean? Like, not everything fits the TV kind of
And I don't think that's what he was trying to do. I think, like, his TV show was more of his character stuff. But, yeah, so in summation, kind of how I feel about it, I feel that he is a very creative guy. I feel like he is, like, I still listen to his podcasts. I think they're really good. But I think because he's thinking more about his audience, like, I think because it's aimed, have you listened to any of his podcasts? No. They're better, but it's still, like, I think he's more real on them because he's just being a bitch. Like, he's just, like, straight up because no one's looking at him. I think that might be it because he's got a lot of, like, self-esteem issues. And he's got another person there, so he can, like, have creative stimulus. So,
you know, like, I think that's great, but I don't think that you necessarily need to change what you're doing to get to be good, because since I started watching YouTube when I was like 14, I'm 20, almost 23 now, so you know, it's been a big chunk of my life. But I started watching like Philip DeFranco. Do you know who that is?
I know who it is, but I don't know.
He's like, he kind of does news, but it's not news. It's kind of like his opinion on the news.
Oh, okay.
And obviously because of the fact that I'm a journalist, I kind of like gravitate towards that stuff. And I think that he has developed this kind of empire. Like, he has a whole company that started out as him just doing this. And now he has SourceFed and SourceFed Nerd, and he has like websites and clothing companies, and he himself has not really changed what he's doing. You know, he's developed as a person, but nothing has really changed about the structure of his show. In that, however many years that is, what, like 9?
Yeah, wow. Is he the British guy?
No, he's American.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Carry on.
But yeah, like, I don't think that it, like, so Shane Dawson may have failed because he's lost his kind of flair, but I don't think it's necessary for you to change what you're doing in order to not fail. Am I making sense?
I would not disagree. I would just like to import that I don't think he's failed. I think that, like, his creativity has dwindled.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't grown as a person. He's still the same person. Like, if you do watch his stuff and you listen to what he's saying, like, I think I have him on Snapchat, he's the same person as he was 8 years ago. Like, and I'm sure, like, if anyone actually ever does watch this, if he ever does watch this, which I highly doubt, he'd be very offended by that because he'd say, like, oh, you don't know me, you don't know how I've changed. Your persona is still exactly the same. The things you still put out and the things you say are exactly the same. You've not changed. In the sense that, like, he still believes in the same things. He still does the same thing every day. He doesn't try new things as far as I can see. Like, he doesn't advertise he tries new things. The only things that he does try are for commodity's sake. Like, in the sense that, like, when he does a daily vlog, they're like, watch me eat this gross food.
Right.
You know, only for clickbait that he'll do that kind of shit. He doesn't go and travel. He doesn't, like, as far as I know, have very many new friends or, like, do new things. Do you know what I mean? That's not inspiring to me. I don't want to be like that, so I stopped watching him.
Yeah. And I think part of the problem with that is that, what was I going to say? I had this, like, amazing point, and it's just, like, gone out of my brain. But the thing is, sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to wake you up.
He also rejected my gift.
What a bitch.
He didn't eat it. Eat it!
He doesn't like dates. What are you trying to do to him? Like, make him shit lots?
No, they're really good. It's not. They're good fibre.
Which is what fibre does.
I know, but, like...
Anyway, it doesn't... No. They are good. I've had them before. But so say, like, I was his audience when I was 14. You know?
Yeah.
And now I have grown as a person and I have changed. And when I was 14, 80% of his audience was 14.
No.
So we've all grown up and he's still the same person. And I am not interested in the same things I was when I was 14 as I am now. Yeah. So how can he expect to keep his audience if he doesn't kind of grow with them? And yes, he might have more 14-year-old girls watching him. Because quite frankly, when we were 14, YouTube was not a very big thing.
That's very true. Yeah.
But now it's enormous.
Just for anyone actually watching this, I have 5 of my fans, including the 2 people in this room. What year was it when we were 14? It was like 2009.
2009?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
2008/2009 for Rachel.
Are you sure it was? Yeah.
No, it was because I started working at the club at 2009, so I had to legally have been working.
Yeah, that's true. That sounds about right. Yeah. So you're like, what, 2009 was that many years ago, and nothing has changed in that guy's life for that long. Holy fuck, we've been talking for like 15 minutes.
That's alright. We'll just do what we need to do. That's fine. Do we have anything else to say?
I just feel like
people post things for the sake of posting things.
And
I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped. Like, yes, I was trying to get comfortable, but as soon as I was comfortable in front of a camera, like, I've now been in 2 TV shows. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
which you can view on YouTube if you would like. And I've now been on 2 TV shows, and I'm comfortable in front of a camera. I can do all the things that I set out to do when I made the channel. But when I stopped having something to do or something to say, I stopped producing content because I ran out of money, right? And I wasn't able. So in the beginning, I was like using the fact that I was trying to make interesting videos to go out and do something that was interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would go on bushwalks, or I would go to events and stuff like that and film the events, so it was more interesting for the person, or the one person who was viewing them.
Yeah.
And then when I stopped being able to do stuff like that, I stopped because I no longer had anything to say, and I no longer needed to get comfortable, and it was boring. Like, do you want to watch me do my washing?
Not really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And by the way, I want to like post this in the comments of his video because he was like, bring back video responses.
Oh, I agree though. Video responses were great.
I fucking loved video responses.
Yeah, they were awesome.
I used to make them all the time.
And it was a great way to actually like contribute content that was relevant.
Yeah.
Again, like,
it's like way back in the day, the like, whatever it was person that I would watch all the time was Pogo Bat. Do you remember him?
No, I don't, but that's a great name.
I know. And he would like always start really interesting discussions and try and get people to like discuss what was happening. I was just watching you stare at the dog.
Yeah, I know, he's just right there.
And I, as like a 14, 15-year-old, I found that really interesting, and I would always use the video responses. So fucking bring back YouTube video responses, you assholes.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Alright, I think I don't have anything else to say on that one. Yeah, I think we can end on that one. So, if we're doing a part 2, jump over to part 2, which is our next topic, which we'll dive straight into, so by editing. Alright, cool.
And we go.
And we're back? Alright, we're back. So, now we're talking about life after university, which I don't know. I feel like the demographic of YouTube definitely has gone up, and something we were talking about in the last video, the last part of this, whatever.
This cannot be like a 35-minute video.
No, that's very true. I would have to cut that in half. Alright, so... The dog. Oh,
Is he just staring at himself in the mirror?
No, he just like, did you see that, Archie? Do you know it was the weirdest? Okay, my dog's being weird. He'll make a visit in a second, but... Okay, we're talking about demographic on YouTube and how a lot of people, when they first started watching YouTube, were like 14-year-old girls. And that probably is still the majority of the demographic. However, I do think that it has shifted, and there's a lot of girls that started watching it in 2008, 2009, which were us, who are now in their 20s. So content, has changed, yes.
And like, obviously, as the people who were creating when they were in like their late teens, early 20s are now in their 30s.
That's
Jesus. Stuff is changing, and like they're getting families and changing what they're saying and how they're doing because their lives have changed.
Yeah. And
that's reflecting for us right now.
So I'm wondering if a lot of people on YouTube will actually connect with this. That's pretty much what that whole point was.
Oh,
I took
nice
like
segue.
2 minutes. My whole point was, I wonder if people would actually connect with this kind of like finishing university or finishing high school or whatever it is, and kind of trying to work out what they're going to do, being in this kind of weird limbo of after education, or, you know, for at least for the Western world and like people, developing people as well that have education, whatever, and that have that kind of choice and freedom to pick their job or the career, and if they have, trying to actually get it. And what we've found, and I'm sorry to speak for you,
Go ahead.
but what we found is that finishing our degree, even though they're arts degrees, finding it difficult to find a job because it's just the nature of it. Like,
I think our arts degrees are very different though. Like your degree was like a writing degree, wasn't it?
That's correct.
My degree is a degree in communication, and there's like 4 or 5 different fields that I could walk into with enough knowledge to kind of start down the bottom.
Yeah.
But I've always been someone with a lot of drive, and I always had a plan. And I'm now at this stage where the plan isn't actually happening, and it's kind of disenchanting for me, and it's really like stressful, because I've always wanted to be a journalist, and I've always been working towards being a journalist, and I literally have like 4 unpaid jobs. You know what I mean? Like, I spend a lot of my time trying to work these unpaid jobs around my actual paying job and my life, because who has 5 jobs?
That's
Do you know what
true.
I mean?
Yeah, that's very true. Especially 4 unpaying jobs. That's a lot of commitment, particularly like if they are in your field. Whereas one of them, being that you work at a grocery store, I don't know if you can name them.
I work for a grocery store.
Well, because you still work for them, I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't name them.
And I, you know, it's great work. I kind of hate it, but I get paid, and I'm good at the job.
That's the only pay that you get.
I do like 13 hours a week, you know,
Wow,
unless someone calls in sick.
That's pretty good for like a casual job like that as well.
That's not. Like when I was
on top of the stuff that you're already doing. Like,
yeah, but when I was younger, and I was more worried about having money than I was about having experience. I was working 30-hour weeks on top of university.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and I was sacrificing my future for the fact that I wanted to get drunk. And now I don't drink because I want to save the money that I would actually spend on alcohol.
Yeah, yeah.
But back to the main point.
Yeah, which was pretty much like expectations of job finding, career finding, and getting, I guess, after uni, versus the reality. Like, as much as, and I know some people, if they do come across this, might comment like, well, what did you expect? You got an arts degree. But I still expected work in my field, though. It's like...
Sorry.
No, do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't expecting to go into mining. Like, that's just stupid. But, like...
I didn't actually expect this to be a walk in the park. Because obviously when you go into a comms degree, it's like... Everybody, especially if you want to be a journalist, everybody tells you that it's going to be so hard to get a job. And while, yes, there are jobs, they're just not in the places where everybody thinks that they are. So I'm not applying for jobs at newspapers or on TV networks. I'm applying for jobs with online magazines and for radio stations, but they're online magazines that are attached to the radio stations. And, you know, you can get jobs in politics and you can get jobs in your community, and, you know, it's like, it's really kind of like odd places. It's like a girl that I met, worked for RSL magazine for a really long time. Yeah. So if you like, it's like a big RSL that has a lot going on, and they had they employed a journalist to create the magazine.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So there's lots of jobs still. You just gotta be in the right place at the right time and apply for the right ones, and be looking in the right places.
Yeah.
But I also know that it's really difficult, and I'm competing with a lot of people, and maybe half those people won't continue to look, and they'll stop and decide to just, you know, oh, whatever, I'll go back to uni and study something else. But I'm not one of those people. And while every now and then I think, oh, maybe I should just go do fucking teaching, you know, I don't want that. I don't want that. This is what I want to do with my life. And I know it's hard, and everyone's like, oh, that's a hard thing to do. I'm like, well, I didn't pick it because I thought it was going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't pick this career because on a whim.
Yeah.
I want a job and I want to do it well, and I think I will do it well.
No, that's great. No, it's nice to see passion, whereas I went into my degree, I didn't even want to go to uni. After high school, I wanted to work for a year in whatever that I could get full time. And I was fortunate enough to have parents that were willing to, help me as much as they could to get a degree, and they pushed me into something, which I don't regret at all. I'm so glad that I went to uni for all the experience and even the stuff that I did learn. But having said that, there's still, what if I hadn't gone? Do you know what I mean? Like, or if I picked something that was not an arts degree that, because I just went, I'll do writing and then I can change halfway through if I don't like it or whatever. Or like, we just kind of rocked up on enrollment day and was like, okay, you got to pick something. I'm like, okay, I'll do writing. So, like, I love that because I was good at writing. I thought, I'll pursue it. But now having finished, and like at least, because I spent 4 years doing it, even though it was meant to be 3. 4 years doing it. By the end of the 4 years, I'm like, okay, at least I can like kind of pursue this now, I guess. Now I feel confident in what I'm doing, or at least I can do something with it, kind of. But there was still always that part of me that was like, you don't want to do this as a career because it's your passion. And for me, I never really wanted to turn my passion into a career unless it was like acting or something to do with acting or film or whatever, which I had the opportunity to kind of do.
But you could kind of meld the two and become a screenwriter.
That's true. Again, though, maybe it's my fear of like failure. I don't know, but I feel like I just don't want to pursue that either.
I genuinely, like, as someone who is really, really, really passionate, like, obviously I wanted to be an actor as well. Like, you know that about me. I love acting, and if I could afford to spend the money on acting school, or if I could afford to spend the year off, like, doing whatever job I could find to save the money to go to acting school, I would. But I also have other dreams. Like, I want to be a journalist. That's something that I want to do. And I can always act later. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that's going to go away.
Yeah.
Whereas at this time in my life, I understand the industry and the techniques that I need to succeed in it. And I'm working towards having all of those things. I'm working towards making sure I understand how to use all the stuff that I'm going to need to be able, like, I have a job at a bloody radio station and I know how to present because that's something that I might need to know. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't think your learning or your passions change just because you've stopped university. I think you still need to learn. Like, you might not still be writing, but you should be. Because if you're not, how are you going to tell someone when you apply for a job in it that you love writing and this is the job that you want to do if you're not actively trying?
That's what I'm saying, though. I never really wanted a job in writing. Like, I wanted to improve my skills, but I never specifically was like, cool, I want to go do editing. All right, I want to go be a novelist. Like, I would like, and a little bit of trivia, I'm actually writing a book at the moment.
Okay.
But that wasn't like, I didn't, as a kid, be like, oh man, I'm going to be J.K. Rowling when I get older. Like, it was just, I feel like that was a dream that developed that I'm like, I would like to write something that either documented aspects of my life within fiction, or I want to produce something that'll make someone else happy. But it definitely wasn't like, I want to make a career out of it.
But I think sometimes you just stumble into that kind of thing. Like, I'm not saying you have to go pursue your career as a writer, but I think to not necessarily throw it away, because obviously you did learn something. That's really important. I think learning is more important than what you do with the things that you learn, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, like, your consumption of knowledge is what's important, not...
I think I also learnt to appreciate the consumption of knowledge as well.
Yeah.
Definitely, because before that it was just like learning felt like, a necessity rather than a joy. Like, now I understand that I can use the things that I learn or not, It is totally up to me, and even if I have that one conversation with the person at the party, like, oh yeah, I did that in uni once, like, yeah, I love talking about it with them, and you can have an interaction with someone about it. That's really cool. I think that's really important.
But I also think you shouldn't, like, yeah, that's really, like, I agree with you. It's being able to talk to someone about the things that you've learned is really interesting. What drives me up the wall is when I can't talk about the things I've learned. Anyway,
Because no one else
because
understands.
no one gets it.
That's very true.
But
I'm so sorry.
it's okay.
It's like such a weird length at the moment. No.
It's a good length.
No, it's horrible. I look like a mum, but I'm not a mum.
But that's like in at the moment. Anyway.
Sorry.
But I think that you, like, even if you do nothing with your degree, at some point you're going to figure out what you do want to do. Whether you do pursue acting or whether you pursue something else. Like, you could fucking end up back at uni doing a business degree for all I know.
Yeah.
And for all you know. But it might not be for 5 years. But what does that matter? Like, we're not in a position now where we have to kind of follow what we've studied.
Yeah.
You know, we don't. It's not the same as it was where we either study or we go into a job and we do that for the rest of our lives. There's nothing wrong with having 2, 3, 4 different careers in your life.
Which
you know?
I think would suit me better, but because I get very bored.
Yeah, but also you can do things like pick a career where you're not going to get bored. Like, I want to be a journalist. When would I get bored doing that? I want to be a political journalist or an investigative journalist. They're 2 very interesting roles. You know, while some people might not think politics is interesting, there is so much shit going on and there's so many people, like, leaking stories and, you know, like, saying stuff about other people or saying the wrong thing and then getting into trouble. How is that not exciting? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that is super interesting.
This is my excited face.
Yeah. But also, like, if I was to become an investigative journalist, each month, each year, each whatever, however long it took me to write a story, I would be interested in what I was writing about because it was important. It's like, I just saw Spotlight, which is the movie about the Boston Globe uncovering 87 priests who had molested children.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah, it was fucking mental. But watching that kind of thing is what makes me want to do what I want to do. Even if it's difficult to get from where I am now to there, I want to get there eventually because I know that is something that's important. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to just do whatever. And if it means that I have to spend the next 10 years of my life working towards that goal, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I think at this point in time for me, at least like being jobless in any sense, because I recently just quit my casual job and it's kind of shit. And it was a move that needed to happen, it wasn't based on finance, like I needed to quit that job. But at the same time there's regret because it's like now I have no source of income and I feel desperate for part-time or full-time work and I refuse to go back to doing at least casual customer service just purely because I don't want to chase shifts and chase money. Like,
yeah,
that was probably the worst bit was like trying to get work was annoying, like consistent work because you never could. So having this 4-month period, so I finished uni officially in November. I was working as a nanny from August to like October therein, I think. And so I was working 2 jobs, 2 casual jobs. The nannying was pretty stable because it was like every weekday in the morning. That's what I did. I got $300 a week for that, and then I had the waitressing on top of that, which was my 7 long year career type thing. So then quitting there and having no nannying that finished at October. Therein, having this kind of 4-month gap of really nothing to do and not expecting, but really, really, really wanting at least something to bite. I've not had one email. I had one email back. Sorry, liar. Had only one email back in terms of like work, and I thought at least with a degree that would at least prove to someone that like I have commitment. I've got some kind of smarts, but it seems like even in something like reception work, apparently that's not good enough. Like I don't understand why in 4 months no one's even responded. And I understand as well that it was Christmas and New Year's. But it's been 2 months, like it's February now.
I actually kind of disagree with you. I don't think a degree really means anything anymore. Like, obviously when a degree to become a doctor means something. But when you, like, as important as arts degrees are, and I think they are really important because I learnt a lot, and a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have learnt otherwise. Like, if I'd gotten a cadetship straight out of high school and just gone straight into working for a paper, I wouldn't have learnt a lot of stuff that I think is really interesting and, like, necessary for me to know.
Mm.
But I don't think a degree is the be-all and end-all anymore. I think that there is so much more that you can do, or so much more that can prove that you're good at something. Like, you know, like, everybody can be reliable.
Yeah.
Everybody can be, can write a sentence. Everybody can do this. Everybody can do that. But there's got something that's got to set you apart from someone else, and you've got to figure out what that is and how to tell other people about it.
Or like you, I like doing volunteer work, and I've done a fuck ton of volunteer work.
But everyone does volunteer work.
I really don't think they do.
Well, okay.
I would disagree with that. I really don't think people do.
Let me put it this way. Everybody who does a communications degree does volunteer work.
Okay, that is very different to what you just said.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I think more people than you think do it, because, you know, there's lots of people who want to work in radio, so lots of people join community radio stations.
Yeah.
And then they've got a community radio station on their...
Yeah. No, I mean the average Joe going for an average job, i.e. reception work, which is what I want to go into at the moment, just purely because I had an inkling that maybe that's something that I could do, or something that I would actually get hired in. But, as I said, I was wrong. And I thought maybe with, you know, 3 years of volunteering as a netball coach, or 1 year of volunteering at St Vincent de Paul's, and maybe my 4-year degree would add to something other than just being straight out of high school. But apparently it's not. Apparently that does equate to nothing. Is what I feel like at the moment.
No, I don't think your feelings are wrong.
No.
I think that it doesn't really equate to much.
No.
But I don't think there's anything we can do about that. You know what I mean? We just need one person to see through that, if that makes sense. We need, like, I don't think that we can expect some sort of, like, preferential treatment. It's like I missed out on the ABC cadetship, and one of those people may not have had who did get selected, may not have had a communications or a journalism degree, but they may have been better suited to the role than I was.
Yeah.
Just because of something that I didn't have, or something that they did better.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we can say that. Don't get me wrong. I think university degrees are important, and I think that they're not necessary, but they're somewhat necessary.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that we can view them as, like, the end. You know.
I never saw it as a ticket. I never saw it as a ticket to a job. But I saw it as, like, at least someone could see that and say, she's just not some 21-year-old girl who floated around and did nothing for the last 4 years after high school, or a high schooler who's just come out and has, like, this is their first job. Like, and I know we're talking about two different things, like cadetships, and I'm talking about, like, realistically, reception work at an office is really not hard work.
No.
It's not the same as what you're talking about.
No, it's not.
And I'm saying, I think my resume does stand apart from other people that would be going for this job. I really do.
And I'm not trying to say that your volunteer work is not important.
Yeah.
But I think we're coming from two very different sides of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm probably going to spend the next 5 years of my life
looking for work.
Yeah. You know, like, I will probably be volunteering for the next 5 years of my life.
Yeah.
And I will probably be working 5 jobs for the next 5 years of my life.
Which is shit.
It is shit. And I'll probably be working 13 hours for the next 5 years of my life. You know what I mean? Like, I can't guarantee that I will get a job. I literally have applied for jobs in the middle of fucking nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, I've had to look up where these places are because I literally couldn't even figure out what state they were in. You know, like, I don't...
Turns out Whoop Whoop is a place. My house.
Hannah's
house. No, that's South Merida.
But I don't, like... Yeah, I think we're coming from two very different sides.
Yeah. Oh, no, but as much as what we said, I can agree with you in that, yes, university isn't a ticket into any job, or it isn't, like, it's kind of an expectation now, and going to uni doesn't guarantee you work at all.
But there's been lots of talk in the media as well about the fact that maybe going to university isn't worth it anymore.
I maybe just in the position I'm in now, I'm feeling like that may be the case, just for me, in that I didn't really need a degree to do anything. Like, you don't, you know.
You aren't really working towards a goal like I am.
Yeah, that's true. But as you said, you can get a cadetship, or you can get an internship or something and learn.
You can, but
it's harder, but it's like, it's not, You know,
Yeah.
you don't. They're not like, oh, you don't have a uni degree, therefore we're not giving you a chance. You're right. It is harder. Hello, little one, come here.
There's also the thing about right place, right time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Rachel would know about my job. I was
Thanks,
Sit down. Sit. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, for what I was hired in, you know, I wasn't educated in that at all. But they hired me because they liked my attitude. They didn't even check my resume.
Yeah.
They just hired me, and now I work for the government. So it's like, ooh.
Yeah. And it's like, I have a friend who started out as a receptionist at a company, and she's now, she has worked her way up the chain. She doesn't have a degree, she doesn't have a TAFE thing, she literally has her HSC, and she's earning a lot of money for what, like, you know, for someone without a degree. And she's doing a job that usually you would need a degree for.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not impossible, it's just...
On that note.
On that note, I think maybe we should, like, wrap up.
Yeah. So maybe just how I'm feeling, at least this will be like some kind of documentation of how I feel about it, and that's, I just want to work. Like, I'm so passionate about just working, and I want to work part-time or full-time, and I'm finding it very frustrating that, you know, I'm kind of just making it by, and I'm being stubborn about going and doing casual work, because I'm like, no, something's around the corner, and it's been 4 months.
Yeah.
So, yes, something will bite, but it's like, I'm getting frustrated at, you know, lack of finance and lack of things to do. More than anything, things to do. Like,
yeah.
I'm, you know, ambitious. I want to be doing things. I want to contribute in some way to the world.
And I would like to as well. Yeah. And I want a job really badly. And I don't care if I have to move to the middle of fucking nowhere to do it. You know, maybe in 2 years I can come back to Sydney.
You might.
But I just,